Hi friends, this is Miss Sheila and we're looking at some skunk weed this morning that grows out here. It's very stinky. You don't want to touch it, but they're starting out as a bunch of pretty yellow flowers there. Here's a few close up. That is skunk cabbage or skunkweed, and it does not smell very good. So if you see some out in the woods somewhere, please don't touch it. It's very stinky. So we're gonna take a walk out here and see all the different kinds of trees that are out here. This here is an alder tree. And as you can see, it loves the wet ground. It's very swampy right here, very wet. My dogs are out here walking with me. There's Maisie. That's one of the Australian Shepherds. She is the youngest one. And then we have Oz. That's the other Australian Shepherd that is merle colored. And behind Oz, we have Harley, the black lab mix. And somewhere nearby is Margot, but the cows have decided to follow me out here. So let's take a walk and see if we can find some other trees. There's one of the young calves that we saw the other day. Her name is Jenna. And let's go find a maple tree. Oh, there's a big maple right over there. That's a very big maple. Right now, it does not have leaves. And in the summertime, it'll be covered in leaves. Here's another great big maple right over here. I'll try to show you the little tiny maple blossoms that are getting ready to open. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them right here. Those are maple blossoms that are getting ready to open. There's a few of them. And that'll be just covered with leaves when it gets warmer out. On the ground is some of the old leaves from last fall, the ones that didn't blow away. There were great big maple leaves, but they've all dried up. All of them have all dried up. A lot of them have blown away. And let's go over here to this tree here. This looks like some type of fir, and it's a feathery type fir, so I'm thinking maybe it is a hemlock, because it's got little tiny little pine cones. Let's get closer and look at the different kinds of pine cones. Those are pretty tiny right there. Those are pretty tiny, so I'm pretty sure those are hemlock right there. And over here, I believe, is a regular Douglas fir tree. The bark is a little bit different, and the needles are a little bit different. They're not as feathery or small as the hemlock. Pretty sure this one's Douglas fir. And we can take a look a little bit closer at the bark on the tree. There's the bark of the Douglas fir. And some of the root system on this one is exposed because the cows like to roll right over here. The dirt is very sandy. Out here in the summer, it's almost like a beach because the sand is so fine right here. And we have a few more maples over here. There's a big maple tree right over there. And another great big majestic maple over there. Let's take a walk over here because I think we have a few more hemlocks. And I see over there is another stand of alder trees. But let's go take a look over here because this hemlock over here is growing right out of a stump. Some of you probably already know that when it does that, sometimes when a tree grows out of a log or a stump, it's called a nurse log, because the nutrients are coming from the stump to nourish this tree. There's an old stump underneath. There's the old stump right there. And this tree and the root system have all grown out of that stump. I'll take a look at the bark on this one. It's a little different from the Douglas fir. And let's take a look at some of these little tiny pine cones again. That one's moving all around, but let's see if we can get another look over here. These little tiny pine cones. Little tiny guys. They're very tiny. That's pretty sure that's a hemlock, and the needles on that are very small. And then over here, we have another stump. I don't think there's a tree growing out of this one yet. Let's take a look. This used to be another hemlock tree, but it fell down one night. So there's no more tree there. It fell down in a storm. But there is another maple tree right there. It's getting its leaves, and pretty soon it'll be full of leaves. And it'll be nice, bright green colored. And maybe it'll do that. Maybe it'll change before we get out of our stay home, stay healthy order. And this over here is where we put all of our manure. And it ages here. And after a year or two or even more years of sitting there and rotting, it is very fertile and very good for the garden. So we use that for fertilizer and gardening. We had a friend come over 2 weeks ago and get a big pickup load full so that he could have a really bountiful garden this spring and summer. So we've seen hemlock fir, we've seen alder trees, we've seen Douglas fir and maple trees, and I don't see any cedar trees for today. Oh, I do see one. We better take a walk back towards it because it's got a lot different look to it. We'll keep an eye on these trees on our way out there. Oh, I see some nettles. I'm sure you've all seen stinging nettles before. This one's just coming up, and I don't want to touch it because that will make me itch all day long. That is good for tea, though. Makes a very good stinging nettle tea. It's got some good attributes. It can be kind of good for you. So let's take a walk back here. Alders have a tendency to fall and break. And when they get wet, they grow some different kinds of fungus. It's a type of mushroom. Oh, I see another one that's just covered right over there. Look at that. That's a lot of fungus right there. Let's keep making our way over to the cedar tree. Maybe we'll find some more fungus on the way. It's quite wet out here. Oh, this is interesting. This looks like we have a tree that came down and cracked. This is probably the one I heard yesterday because that's a fresh break right there. I heard it come crashing down when it was windy yesterday. So that has definitely probably made a lot of noise when it crashed. So let's look over here. I think we have found the cedar tree. Look at how much different that looks. That is a cedar tree right there. Oh goodness, that is a cedar tree right here. And there's the There's the tree trunk of it right there. And this looks a lot different. There, right there. A lot different. So now we've found quite a few different trees. And I hope you enjoyed our adventure today. Remember to click on subscribe if you want to receive more notifications. Have a great day.